Hello again. This is Nora from Sacred Roots Homestead and Layla,
Hi.
and we are going to show you quickly how to prepare potatoes and plant them out into buckets and into containers. So first, what we're going to do is you're going to get some regular potatoes. Well, it's better to get seed potatoes because they're supposedly disease resistant, and we don't want diseased potatoes. So to buy the seed potatoes, you can order them online or go to a local farm and pick up a few varieties if you like of whatever potatoes you like that grow well in your region. So this is the kind of potato that we got. These are Yukon Gold, and what I did was I cut them in half 2 days ago and left them out to harden off. They need to be dry so they don't rot, and they need to have these little things called chits where the eyes are. They can be bigger or smaller. You just want to be able to see them sticking out. So I cut the potato in half because each half had one or two chits on it. And so what we're going to do is, now that they're dry, I've prepared the buckets. I've prepared the buckets, and what I did was I put in them on the bottom some of my chicken compost and ground up leaves, wood chips, and a little biochar. If you don't have biochar, that's fine. But put some potatoes like to grow in a very loose and not a compact type of medium. Medium meaning the soil or wherever you're gonna plant them inside of. So you don't have to use that much of soil, or you can even use your native dirt. The difference between dirt and soil is soil has life to it. It's got microorganisms in it. You don't want just some dirt, from the side of the road. I happen to live in an area with a forest floor, so I can just add a little of the native ground cover into the buckets to, give life. And the biochar I got from my wood burning stove from the coals. So the coals provide places for the nutrients and microorganisms to hang out and process the soil and enrich the soil for the potatoes to grow. So what you want to do is you want to plant just one or two in these buckets. That's all you need. And then you're going to just cover the top. Yeah. You just need to cover the top over with some more either straw, hay, mulch, or some more compost. I'm going to put wood chips on top. This way I'm not having to use too much soil. It gets expensive. And potatoes are not that fussy with their soil. So some people even plant them in bales of hay. But I would like it to be a little more beneficial for the health of the potatoes anyway. So I'm going to do this today. And then I will also be planting out in my potato bed over here. I have garlic growing in there that I planted out in November, and the shoots are coming up already. I don't know if you can see that from here, but the shoots are coming up already. So they'll be ready to be harvested probably in June or July. And it's my first time planting out garlic. So I'm hoping to have a decent harvest out of it. I planted out about 50 hardneck and softneck garlic, and we can talk about that another time specifically. But yeah, so just to finish up, because my battery is low. So in this bucket I have the compost, the wood chips, and a little biochar. So what you want to do is you take the dried potato, you make sure the chit is facing up, and you put one in one side And, well, you're going to put another in the other side if you have one, or you can just put one right in the middle. And then on top, I'm just going to take these wood chips that I had from a tree that got processed on my property and just fill it with that. And I already had put some of this soil that I had from last year that I didn't use much. It's still good in the middle layer. So it was compost, wood chips, biochar, potatoes, wood chips, and I might put some other type of mulch on top. And that's it. You want to fill it up to about here. And you plant the potatoes from your wrist to your fingers deep, about 6-7 inches deep. And they take about 3 to 4 months for early potatoes. And you should get, a couple pounds of potatoes from each bucket. But if you're planting in the ground, that's different. That should yield you a much bigger harvest. But this still gives you a good amount, about 2 bags worth of potatoes. So I'm gonna leave them right out here in my little, I have this little section here where I'm gonna have all my pots. This is my fig tree. My fig tree over there. Go ahead, water the flowers. And the peas are gonna go over here in this one, and so they can climb up the side. You see, it's nothing fancy. It's just some chicken wire and some garden posts. So you just need some type of trellis for beans or peas to grow up. But we'll talk about beans or peas another time. And that's it. So that's just a quick potato sowing video. Sowing means when you plant, you call it sowing. And so I'm gonna get at least 2 of these done now. And I'm also gonna get to my seed trays for tomatoes, peppers, and onion starts next. So I'm just gonna make short videos since I don't know how to edit and go from one place to the next. I don't want to bore you to death. And yeah, that's about how you can get started with potatoes. If you can't find seed potatoes, you can certainly start with organic potatoes from your local store. Just make sure that they have the eyes on them and they're chitted, where they have the little sprouts coming out, the chits. You don't have to cut them, but if the potato has several chits on it and it's a good size, you get more for your money if you cut it and let it dry out for at least 2-3 days. If not, plant it directly in your container. You can use the collapsible containers or you can use buckets, whichever you'd like, but that's a good place to start for someone who's just starting out. And I highly suggest that you start now because potatoes, believe it or not, give you a lot of energy, carbohydrates, and minerals. And different potatoes have different beneficial nutrients in them, but they're filling. And like I said, we're coming into some hard times and food shortages. And that's not, just a theory, that's actually happening. And I am in contact online and have access to many, many local and farmers all around the country, all around the world, and that's what's going on. And you don't want to be stuck with nothing. Take control of the situation and start somewhere. Start today, start tomorrow, just start. That's all that matters. You don't need to be an expert, just start. And then also start watching some gardener channels. I watch about 10 different channels regularly, and I skim through others because certain people appeal to other people. And you want to find something that's going to interest you. Make a little library on YouTube, and you can follow along, take notes. I highly suggest getting some gardening books or print some things out in case it gets to the point, well, it will at some point get to the point where we don't have, online access, but that's another whole story. So, you want to know what you're doing. So take notes now, get books now on it, or print things out online. There's plenty of free resources. Okay? I hope you enjoy that content, and please like and share.